Hello and welcome to Sport Vibes on DNT Work. My name is Bolaji Alimi, the Sport Pilot, and I have the privilege of being your host once again. This promises to be yet another blessing to you. As you know, it's our culture on DNT Work and on Sport Vibes as well, to not just bring you stories and updates, but to bring you lessons that are so important to our lives as well, from these stories and updates emanating across the world. And this time around, since this is Sport Vibes, we'll be talking about sports. You will agree with me that in the world of sports in the last few days there's been a lot of interesting updates. You want to talk about the exit of the Super Falcons or the defeat of the Super Falcons, because that was a third place match in the Women African Cup of Nations. The Super Falcons, perennial champions, now not doing so well. Of course, by their own standard, that wasn't good enough, the outing they had, but you can't be champions every time. You want to talk about several other updates. Nigeria winning the 11th edition of the arm wrestling competition, talking about the African Arm Wrestling Championship, hosted by Nigeria, won by Nigeria. A lot of records also set in that one. And now this time around, our very focus is on another record that was set lately, a very, very important one. And that is no other than that of Oluwatobiloba Ayomide Amusan, a Nigerian athlete who just did herself and Nigeria proud in the United States, talking about the World Athletics Championship. Let's proceed on a short break now, and when we come back, we'll talk more about Oluwatobiloba Ayomide Amusan. Stay tuned.
Amazon is in green. Camacho Quinn second from the left. The Olympic champion's been left a little bit at the start by Armstrong. Amazon now beginning to come through. So too is Anderson. Toby Amazon, look at the clock. I cannot believe it. She's done it again. 2 world records in one night. And she makes history by becoming Nigeria's first world champion.
My coach is going to be mad because I didn't know I was going that fast. But, the goal is to execute, and I did just that. So the time I always take care of the person. But I just, focus in my lane and just trying to execute and stay as.
Welcome back to Sport Vibes on DNT Work. So I did mention before the break that we'll be talking about Oluwatobiloba Ayomide Amusan, Toby Amusan. That is how she's commonly called and referred to as Toby Amusan. This is a lady just 25 years of age that has done Nigeria proud. We're talking about the World Athletics Championship that was concluded lately in the United States in Oregon. Several Nigerians were losing hope, talking about athletic fans in Nigeria, fans of athletics, when the competition was going on and wrapping up eventually, and then it seemed as if there will be no medals at all for Nigeria because a lot of sprinters that Nigerians expected more from did not do well enough. They tried their own beats, but it wasn't enough to earn Nigeria a medal at all. But eventually, just as the show was wrapping up, if we are going to use our own balance, as the show was wrapping up, talking about the World Athletics Championship, in came Oluwatobiloba Amusan and of course Ese Brume also in the long jump event. But for you to know a little more about Toby Amusan, who will be our major focus in this program, in this episode of Sport Vibes, Toby Amusan is a Nigerian athlete. She sprints for Nigeria, but not just that, she majors on hurdles, especially the 100-meter hurdles, and that is the very event where she won the gold medal. And not just doing that, she did that setting a world record of 12.06 seconds. I'll take that again for emphasis. Oluwatobiloba Amusan set a record of 12.06 seconds to win Nigeria and herself a gold medal at the World Athletics Championship in the United States. And as I mentioned also, Ese Brume, another Nigerian athlete, came through in the long jump event, also winning a silver medal for Nigeria in that event. But having said all these, what is our story? What is our own point of reference? Talking about the lesson we have to learn from interesting stories like this. We all love to see our athletes, our favorite athletes, break records. We love to see them do well for themselves. But at the same time, we want to progress in our own lives as well, our businesses, our academics, our career, whatever field of endeavor we are in. We also want to make giant strides towards success. So how do we take lessons from these athletes that are on the scene right now? Let's talk about Toby Amusan, and I'll just like to give you a brief update on her, talking about a quick rundown on her biography, but not enough detail, just to talk about her success in the past, because many times when things appear like this, it's almost to us as sport fans that, oh, this person just came out of the blue and she has blown, as we can use in the entertainment parlance. She has blown now, she's in the scene all of a sudden. But the truth is that nothing happens like that, really. No one just makes it, no one just comes to the scene all of a sudden or out of the blues. Tobi Amusan has been consistent in having a very good track record, literally speaking, and even in terms of the language we use in athletics. You want to talk about the fact that Tobi Amusan has been consistent in across several stages. Talk about Nigerian level, Asaba. We want to talk about the National Sport Festival. We want to talk about the Commonwealth Games, the All African Games. This is a lady that has been consistent in achieving great success for herself at the local scene and even at the continental scene as well. So coming to the stage, the world stage, and breaking record, making marks like this is no surprise. While it's definitely surprising that it came that way and no one really expected that to happen at this time, to I believe it is not a surprise, because nothing just happens by luck or by chance. They say success happens when preparation meets opportunity. And so, talking about Tobi Amusan, I'd like to reiterate the fact that this is not just a newbie coming to the scene and just getting lucky, as some people may want to assume. She's not a newbie, she's not a new kid on the block. She's been there, consistent, doing a lot of things for herself in the secret while no one was noticing. A lot of training, changing coaches along the line. When you check some of her issues, you can definitely see she has had at least 3 coaches in her career. It takes a lot of intentionality about yourself to know this is the right time to switch coaches, this is the time to adjust my training schedule, my fitness routine, and all these very, very important details that some of us may not pay attention to. Yours might not be about training physically, yours might be about training professionally in your career or endeavor. Just to ensure you are consistent in adding value to yourself time and again. No one may be noticing you for now. You may not be the one everyone is clapping for or celebrating right now. But the good news is that your time will definitely come. There is always an appointed time by God to allow your hard work, your diligence to pay off. Because truly, if you are diligent, you will not be allowed. God's integrity will ensure you are not standing before mean men. Eventually, you have to stand before kings. But an important point I'd like to mention concerning this is persistence. We've talked about this in the past, that along the line you need to persevere, you need to really endure, because it's not so easy when you're putting in a lot of shifts, you're doing so much in the secret seemingly, and a lot of people are not noticing you, are not getting the kind of or the level of applaud you expect. It takes a lot of grit, it takes a lot of determination to keep going, and a lot of strength from within. God knows this, and that is why He Himself says He can be touched with the feeling of our infirmities. He knows our weaknesses, He knows our strengths. So definitely there's a reason why He has given us His own very life, so that we can be strengthened by His life within us, even in the midst of these circumstances that are seemingly hard and unbearable. So while it seems like you're not being celebrated enough or not respected enough for what you're doing, just keep at it and ensure you do not drop the level of your consistency, your determination, the level of your hard work. Definitely, by the grace of God, eventually, it may not be an immediate action. Tobi Amusan has been on the scene for a long while. Talk about 2013 championships in Nigeria. You want to talk about several other occasions this lady has done so well for herself, and then the applause has been gradually, stage by stage, and now it's time for the whole world to stand in amazement, in awe of what she has allowed God to work in and through her life. So same goes for me and you. And I'd like to also mention the fact that this is not just applied to an individual. There's really power in waiting on God for success, instead of just finding a shortcut or somewhere else that will eventually not last, because any other source we seek things from that is not godly, that is not the right way, because God's way is the only right way. Any other source does not bring enough flavor, does not give you enough satisfaction. Nothing else in this world satisfies if it's not from God. So I was saying this because I would also like to mention the fact that Nigeria has waited, while watching the competition. Almost all Nigerians, or majority I believe, might have lost hope, because a lot of athletes, several people expected to do well for Nigeria, to at least get us a medal, even if it's a bronze, fell short in a way, and then the competition was rounding off gradually, coasting home. everyone felt like maybe this is just another disappointing competition for Nigeria with no medals. And then 2 medals came in, and not just ordinary medals, a gold medal with a world record attached to it, and of course a silver medal in the long jump event. So this is a great news for Nigeria. This is a great news for Africa and sport development. But more importantly, this is a great lesson for us that whatever we are doing, whichever field of endeavor we find ourselves, if we are consistent in doing our own part while we allow God to play his own parts, the passage of time, doing what we love doing, keeping at our hard work, not dropping our levels, eventually there's a fruit that comes with all the seed we sow. So be consistent in whatever good thing you are doing, whatever field you found yourself that is the right one, that is not something to hide, that is not something to that you would not be proud of eventually. Whatever good thing you are doing under God, on your way to achieving purpose, be consistent with it. Do not give up hope. Celebration, external joy or not, just fan up your flames from within and be consistent. That's it on Sport Vibes this week. I believe you enjoyed this show. Do well to join us next time on Sport Vibes. My name is Bolaji Alimi, the Sport Pilot. So next time, stay consistent. Thank you so much for watching Sport Vibes on DNT Work. If you enjoyed the video, ensure you subscribe, like, and share the video. Thank you.